All right, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Kyle Gonzalez. I use he, him, his pronouns. For those of you that may not be able to see me today, I'm currently wearing a blue and yellow plaid shirt with my hair combed back, and I am wearing my glasses today. I currently work as the Assistive Technology Coordinator for the WSU Access Center on the Pullman campus. And welcome to day 3 of our third annual Disability Awareness Symposium. So before we get started today, I just want to give you a brief overview of the Access Center and what we do, and an overview of this year's symposium, and go over a few housekeeping items as well. So the Access Center provides accommodations and services to incoming and current WSU students with disabilities that limit their access to the educational environment. Through this, we support the self-determination and development of students with disabilities through removing barriers to academic success, promoting self-advocacy, and providing support to foster student learning and engagement in all opportunities available at the university. We also help to foster support through awareness programming events throughout the year, culminating in our symposium. The theme of this year's symposium is Fitness for All, Inclusive Fitness and Sport. This year, the symposium will take place through the rest of this week and continue to approach fitness from a holistic lens, with events focusing on both mental and physical fitness. The symposium places specific focus on mindfulness, mental health, physical health, and nutrition. We also offer a series of adaptive workout classes via Zoom or at the Chinook Center with our partners at University Recreation. These adaptive fitness classes include yoga, Zumba, weightlifting, spin, and rock climbing. And extra credit and programming will be given to WSU student participants of this event. We will be posting a link to an exit survey towards the end of today's discussion, which will give you an opportunity to put which group you will be getting credit for. We encourage all participants to fill out this survey as it does help us fine tune and do better for future events. This symposium would not have been possible without the support of our partners at SNA, University Recreation, the Graduate Professional Student Association, the WSU Graduate School, Outreach and Education, and Advance at WSU. And of course, as we always do, we like to acknowledge the land that we are on. So as Washington State University, we would like to acknowledge that the WSU Pullman campus is located on the ancestral homelands of the Palouse people and on the ceded lands of the Nimipu or Nez Perce tribe. So with that, I would like to welcome you to using mindfulness to manage the frustrations of academic life as presented by Tomie Gowdy-Burke. Tomie came to WSU in 2010 to teach composition, rhetoric, and professional writing for the English department. But her background in mental health led her to work with the Access Center to develop the Access Writing Program that offers students one-on-one faculty mentoring throughout their time at WSU. Tomie began practicing mindfulness more than 5 years ago. Since that time, she has found that exercises can assist with focusing her attention, calming her stress, managing her anxiety, and perhaps most surprisingly, help her overcome the demands of battling breast cancer. This presentation will offer a brief explanation of the effects of mindfulness on the body, and participants will engage in several short mindfulness exercises believed to assist in overcoming distractions and procrastination, as well as handling the stress and anxiety students face in their daily lives. So Tomie, I hand the mic over to you.
Thank you so much, Kyle. I appreciate it. I'm just floored by the number of people that are here with us today. When I first proposed this symposium or this presentation to Davy about 3 years ago, my knowledge of mindfulness was pretty good at that time, but it has even increased so much more now, and to the point where I recognize that every day I know something, I realize I know something less because I learned something more. So I'm really excited to be here with you today. We're going to do a little bit different than I initially planned to do. We're going to focus more on some specific mindfulness activity. And I'm going to start us out by taking a quick look at how our world has changed and the differences that we are growing up in. Oops, I'm sorry, I have a Zoom bomber down here. It's my Siamese cat if you hear somebody screaming. So anyway, we're going to take a quick look at the world that we live in today and how much it has really changed and how we are kind of living in a schism that provides us with a really good knowledge of how to predict and make awareness of our environment around us, but it's also in the last 100 years, we've made some changes in the way we see the world and the way we think about our lives and our brains and all of that stuff. So today I kind of want you to think about this little picture here. I love this one. It says, is your mind full or are you mindful? Okay, and that's a really important part of life is being mindful of what you do and how much that can not only heal brain, but it can also take our brains into places where we are so much more energetic and enlivened and see our futures with much more clearer and positive eyes. And the other thing that's really wonderful about mindfulness is that it doesn't have to take an hour like we're going to do today. It can be just a couple minutes. One I do every day is when I'm brushing my teeth. I'm just mindful of every tooth I brush as my little electronic toothbrusher beeps me through the 2 minutes. Anyway, there's just different ways we can be mindful. And the effects on our body and brain is magnificent, as we're going to look and see. So today we live in two different kinds of experiences of our consciousness. We see the world from two different perspectives. And the first is the one that's been around for a long time, Sir Isaac Newton. And his whole vision of the Newtonian view of the world. And if you probably know who Sir Isaac Newton is. He did the laws of motion, universal gravitation, theory of relativity. Oh, so much more. He explained how the world worked, from how we could figure out where the planets were, how we could predict where they might be later. He was a mathematician extraordinaire. So we have all of this really good, strong scientific knowledge in numerous different fields that can tell us about our place here in the world. On the other hand, in the last 100 years, we've had quite a few advancements in science and psychology, and they have led to some astounding new ways of thinking about our position in this world. Often we think about this as coming to the postmodern world because our quantum reality has been based on all of these scientific breakthroughs like Heisenberg's matrix mechanics, Schrodinger's. You guys know Schrodinger, his cat? Is the cat dead or not in the box? You put the cat in the box with poison, you close up the box. Is the cat dead or not? You don't know. And you can't know. But he was also famous for other things like wave mechanics. Dirk's transformation theory, Feynman's over history is formulation. I'm not even going to pretend to know what any of those are, but I know that they have a lot to do with probability and certainty. It comes at a more organic worldview. We recognize that everything is an organism in the world and everything affects everything. Okay, so you've heard that old adage about the butterfly. If you clip the butterfly wings, it will affect people halfway across the world. So just the tiniest things that we do to our world can have huge effects. Similarly, that's like with our brains. Just like we can predict the placement of the universe on the planets, we can also predict other things like bicycles or our bodies. More recently, science has been looking at how to transport people, kind of like the old Star Trek stuff. And I think we're getting close to that. But one example of this kind of zeitgeist is what we refer to it. And if you know that word zeitgeist, it means the kind of overwhelming spirit or shared opinion or consciousness shared amongst a mood or a spirit of people. Now, it's really interesting because we not too long ago found out that we could measure that. And it came about quite by accident. About around the world, we have these little machines that generate random numbers for scientific experiments, all sorts of things, surveys, interviews. When something that happens in the world that captures the whole world's attention, those random generators, number generators, stop doing random numbers and they become sequenced. We don't know why. But we think this is probably part of that whole quantitative thing, that we are connected in some ways. There is some sort of consciousness that's connected. So we have to kind of balance them, this Newtonian idea of the universe that we've had for a long time, classical, and this new quantum reality that we have. And we can break it down to, the Newtonian laws over these laws of probability, observation, our consciousness, time perhaps not existing as we know it. I don't know about you, but it seems to get faster and faster at some points. Space separating things and no longer separating things, like data that we once used to have to photocopy and take to another person. Now we just share it over electronics. Okay, so mental experiences and our awareness is can be very accounted for by quantum reality. And mental experience and thought and memory, we might need Newtonian or classical reality to kind of account for that. Um, Either way, we need to figure out how are we going to live within the Newtonian laws that describe our universe while still being able to be aware of the quantum reality that will free ourselves from those laws, which is kind of why we have developed what is called the journey into the nature of awareness. Um, we like to think about how do you become more aware of yourself, and how can we use mindfulness to help us out of those more challenging moments in our lives. So um, Dr. Dan Siegel, and he's a physician and PhD, UCL Medical Center. He has come up with this notion of called the wheel of awareness. And what it does is it helps people really understand their mind. And you can integrate your consciousness. And what results is that you have a more stable, more well-being, you're healthier, you're happier. And but this wheel works on a combination of two ideas. And the first one is that when you want to be healthy, you want to have wellness in your life, it requires integration. And that means that you have to link different things together. Okay. And part of that is that you have to understand that consciousness is needed for change. In other words, you have to be aware of your awareness. Okay. So, with those couple of ideas, let's start by looking at how this wheel works. The outside of it is the rim. These are all the knowns in your life, everything you're aware of, everything that you can do, say, think, know, anything. Okay. And then inside the ring are our four quadrants. And that is represents everything you can know as well, but it's been divided up into four quadrants. The first one is the five senses, and that is all of your taste, touch, all of those things. The one to the left is, or maybe, yes, that's right. The other one is the interior of your body, and these are the inner sensations of your body. Okay, we'll talk about this in a minute. The third area is the activities of your mind, and then the connections that you have to things outside yourself. Okay, so all these are things that we want to focus on, and we're going to be thinking about as we do some mindfulness and self-awareness. Okay. Now, in the middle of all of this sits the hub. And this is a place where you go. Okay. This is a place that represents the experience of you being aware of something. Okay. It's the place where you go and you just shrink within yourself and try to find clarity and be calm. Okay. So it's that inner part of yourself. Okay. It's where you want to be able to be aware of other things that are going on. Okay. Now, other item that we have, excuse me, is the spoke. And that's that little arrow that's poking out there. And it represents the attention, your focus, your attention, where you're directing your attention. And we can take that little dial, that little spoke, and move it around and around and focus our attention on different things. Okay. For example, in the five senses, we'll talk about sight, touch, sound, smell, taste. And then when we go to the interior of the body, we'll look at physical pain, muscle tension, organ function, gut sensations, emotions, thoughts, and beliefs we'll look at in your mental activities. And then we can focus on your relationships, both personally, with your immediate family and friends, as well as other people, maybe at jobs and such, your community, as well as our connections with nature, okay, and the world around us. Okay, so far, any questions? Does anybody have any questions? Okay, so when we use the wheel of awareness, um, we can systematically move our minds around the metaphoric wheel of awareness from the hub at the center, and that's your awareness. And then you can engage in pure awareness with each one of the different slots on the wheel. Okay. And when you do this, what we've observed is that time seems to dissolve for most people and they become more engaged and their brain settles down and they begin to feel a sense of awe and joy and freedom from a lot of the stress and the obligations that we have every day in our lives. Doesn't take them away, but it allows us to put aside some of those um, emotions and or overly emotion or overly logical that are getting in our way of being productive with our obligations or with our goals. So we want to be thinking about that. Okay. So by regularly engaging in the wheel, taking time out of your day, maybe a couple times a week, maybe once a week. And the other thing is you don't have to do the whole wheel. We're going to do it here today in a few minutes, but you don't need to use the entire wheel. You can just take a few moments and focus on one section. You like when you're in the shower in the morning and you're tight and you're tense, you can go through just the interior of the body part. Maybe you have a really rough day and you're not sure about how you're feeling about yourself. You can go through those mental activities and look at your emotions and your thoughts and your beliefs and how those interact and with the problems that you're thinking about. Okay. Same with interconnections. You can evaluate how you've been working with people in your community, your relationships with people, personal relationships, maybe more employment relationships, those kind of things. So we can think about all of that. We want to remember, though, that the wheel is simply a metaphor. It's like a map. And so I'm going to invite you to come along on a journey with me, a journey through the wheel of awareness. And my goal is to help you explore and integrate your consciousness. Um, So let's begin by either looking at the wheel on the screen. Okay, you keep an eye on that. Or you can imagine this wheel in your mind if you've got a good imagination. Maybe you can already get an image of it up in your brain. Remember that it's just a metaphor for what you're feeling. It represents your knowing, your awareness. Okay? So remember that the rim is representing the knowns, the spoke represents your attention. Okay? So let's just begin first by sensing our breath and riding a wave of our breath going in and now out, and now letting the breath go. And try not to let yourself focus on any other thing, okay? Just let yourself breathe in, breathe out, letting the breath go so it no longer is the focus of your attention, okay? Now imagine centering yourself in the hub of the wheel of awareness, right there in the center. You're sending the spoke of attention out to the sense of hearing, the sense of hearing on the first segment of the rim. Let sound, wherever you're at, let the sound fill your awareness. Now let's move the spoke of attention over just a little bit to the sense of sight. And now let the light come in through your closed eyelids. Or if your eyelids were open, maybe you want to close them and notice the light. Let the light fill your awareness. Now move the spoke over a little bit more to the sense of smelling and letting aromas fill the air. Take in the smells around you and fill it into your awareness. Now move the spoke over just a little bit more to the sense of taste and let taste fill your awareness. Finally, move the spoke over one more time on this first segment to the sense of touch. Anywhere the skin is touching furniture, clothing, the floor, chair, your desk, skin touching skin, hand on hand. Just let the sensation of touch fill your awareness. Now take a deep breath and imagine moving your spoke of attention over to the second segment of the rim, the one that represents the signals for the interior of your body. Now, from the hub of knowing in the wheel of awareness, with the spoke now in the second segment of the ring, let's open our awareness to the sensations of your muscles and bones in your face. letting the whole facial region fill your awareness. Now move that awareness to the forehead and the top and sides of your scalp. And now back to the back of your scalp, forward to where the ears are. And then feel the sensation of your muscles and bones in the throat and your neck. Notice the sensations of your shoulders and stream attention down both arms to the ends of your fingers. Now, bring the attention to the sensations to the upper back and chest. Move to those feelings in your lower back muscles and then around to your abdomen. Slide your attention to the sensations of your hips, and then stream your attention down both legs into each and every toe. Now bring your attention back up to the pelvic region and notice the sensations of your genitals. Now bring attention to the digestive system. Begin with the lower intestine deep inside your abdomen. Follow those gut sensations throughout the inside of your abdomen, all the way up to the top of your abdomen, where the stomach is. Now follow the digestive system. Notice its sensations. Think about those going up from the stomach through the center of your chest, where the esophagus is. That's the tube that connects your stomach all the way up to the interior of your throat and mouth. Now move from those digestive system sensations to the respiratory system. Begin behind the cheekbones with your sinuses. Then the back of your nose, your mouth, front of your throat, down your trachea. That's the tube that gives life-giving air down into our lungs. Think about the left lung, right lung. Feel them as they expand and contract with every breath. Now center your attention on your heart region. Place your hand over your heart. Feel the sensation of it beating. Now open awareness to the entirety of your interior body, the whole of your body, the muscles, the bones. Think about them from head to toe. The blood flowing through your veins, your internal organs. Let all the sensations of the interior of your body fill your awareness. Now, let's take another deep cleansing breath. Let's now imagine the spoke of attention moving to the third segment of the rim. And this is the rim or the section that represents our mental activities. These are the things like our feelings, our emotions, our moods, our thoughts, ideas, beliefs, our hopes and dreams, things we long for, memories we've had. All of these, we're just going to simply call these mental activities. So, with your attention, spoke of attention, going from the hub of knowing, hub of being aware, follow it to the rim of the mental activities. And we're going to do this exploration of mental activities in two different ways. Okay? So, the first part simply goes like this. From your hub of knowing, with the spoke of attention sent out to the third segment of the mental activities rim, invite anything to come. Okay? Just experience whatever comes to mind. Don't, don't be worried about thinking something. Just try to keep your mind clear and let anything come that will happen. Okay? Now, there might be many things that come in all at once, maybe just a few things, maybe nothing will come at all. Thing is, there's nothing wrong or right about this. Just the experience of letting whatever happens happen. So, invite anything in. So, how are you doing? That's a difficult challenge sometimes for people. Inviting things in is like the opposite of focusing on our breath. Um, we focus when we're doing our breathing exercise, we focus our attention on being aware of our breath. Um, but during that time, if distractions happen, we just note them and we say, there's a distraction, just let it go, come back to the breathing in and out, following the wave of our breath. Here, we're doing exactly the opposite, okay? We're trying to open up our awareness. We're simply opening awareness to anything that arises. And so we just want to see what the experience is like. And so let's try again for just a few minutes to practice simply inviting in anything from mental activities into the hub of knowing right now. Okay. Okay, for the second part, of the review of the mental activities, we're going to again do some inviting in of our awareness. Um, but this time, I'm going to invite you to pay close attention to the nature with which a mental activity, like a memory, a thought, anything like that, um, how does it first present itself to awareness? How does it? How do you first become aware of it? How then does it maintain its awareness? How does it stay in your awareness? And finally, what happens when it leaves your awareness? Okay, so um, you're kind of like looking or studying what's the nature of your mental activity. Okay? For example, a memory, a feeling, a thought. How does it first come into your awareness? Is it sudden? Is it gradual? How does it first present itself for awareness? And then once you have its awareness, does it come and go? Does it kind of just vibrate there? What's the quality with which this mental activity, like a thought or a memory, how does it stay in your awareness? Okay. And then finally, how does that mental thought or memory, how does it leave your awareness? Is it just replaced by another mental activity or like a feeling or a memory? Or does it just go away? And if it just goes away, is there a gap? And what fills that gap between the previous thought, your awareness, and the next thought? Okay? So it's kind of like being a student of architecture of your mental life. Okay. So let's just take a few minutes and I'm going to invite you to think about that. Let a memory enter. Let maybe two enter. Think about how you are shuffling them, how they remain in your consciousness, how they leave. We'll just take a minute to think about that. Okay, now I want you to again take a moment to find your breath and just ride the wave of your breathing in and out and in and out. And before we move over to the fourth segment of the room, I'm going to take a pause and just go to the center of the hub itself. Okay? Now, people find different visual images of the hub and the spoke for this activity. They imagine it in different ways. But what we want to do is bring that spoke and bend it back on yourself so that it's no longer looking at the rim and the different things on the exterior, but it's now pulling itself around and pointing back to the hub. So, like I said, some people like to think about it bending back and coming back into the hub. Other people like to think of it as something more of the spoke as something more as a retractable spoke, where it can pop out there to the outside when it needs to, but it can pull all the way back to the hub when it needs to as well. Other people will just remove the spoke entirely and say, it's gone now, and I'm just focusing on the hub. So that's what we want to do now is just spend a couple of minutes focusing on that center hub before we move into the fourth round, the fourth section. Okay. So let's do a little bit of exploration of the hub itself. Okay. So the hub is awareness of awareness. Okay. That's what you're looking for when you go back to the hub. You're looking at your awareness of awareness. You are aware of something that you were not aware of before. Okay. That you've gained insight by stopping to um, assess the interior of your body, that you've gained some new awareness by taking a moment and pausing to look at your emotions or your thoughts, those kind of things that we want to stop when we're using the hub. Okay, so it's awareness of awareness. So let's take just a few minutes and kind of invite your thoughts in to think about what are you aware of being aware of? Okay, what are you aware of being aware of? Okay, now I invite you once again to find the breath and to ride that breath in and out. Ride the wave of your breath in and out, in and out. Now take a bit deeper breath and imagine sending the spoke out, straightening out the spoke. And you're going to move it all the way to the fourth and the final segment of the rim. And this is the rim that represents our relational connections, the interactions that we have with entities outside our bodies. Those are usually people, but it can be animals, the environment, um, work situations, it can be anything, okay? Anything that is outside of our bodies. Okay? So let's begin with opening to a sense of connection with people physically closest to you right now. Anyone who's in the room, just be aware of where they're at. Be aware of their placement in the room. Now widen to the people who are near you, not immediately next to you. Maybe they're in the room next to you, further away. These are the people who are somewhat close, but not right next to you. Now widen your sense of connection to your family. Any of those who are not with you right now, maybe they're a long ways away, maybe they're just a short distance. Think of them. Think of them as people just put here on the earth like you and me. Now, open your sense of connection even wider to your friends. Maybe those who aren't with you right now, Maybe not here where you're at. Maybe they're in another town. Think about that person. Imagine their face, their laughter, their smell. Now open up your access and connection to people who you work with, maybe other students, maybe your roommates, professors, the staff, anybody that you know. Now open your sense of connection to everyone in your community, everybody that lives in your community. Open up your sense of awareness to all those people. Now widen that sense of connection to the people in your town or maybe your city, not just maybe your neighborhood or just the group that you hang with, but expand that to a wider, the whole town or maybe the whole city. Now widen your sense of connection to everyone who lives in the state. And now you're opening up your sense of connection to all the people who live in our country. And now we're going to open up your sense of connection even further, further still to all the people who live on this wonderful and precious planet that we call home. And you're going to widen your sense of connection even further to every living organism on the face of the earth and in our universe and on every planet and every galaxy, everything that could possibly ever be. You're going to open your sense of connection to everything. Now, knowing that science has recently confirmed what wisdom and traditions have known for many, many years, that sending wishes of kindness and care, of intentions of compassion and concern, sending those out into the world, that can bring positive changes. And the changes that are positive come not just to our world, but to ourselves. So I'll invite you to repeat the following phrases with me. Okay? I'm going to say a phrase and then pause, and then you're going to silently, in your own mind, repeat those words that I was saying. Okay? So let's start by sending wishes of kind intention out to all living beings. May all living beings be happy. Now you silently say in your inner voice, may all living beings be happy. May all living beings be healthy. May all living beings be safe. May all living beings flourish and thrive. Now, taking a bit deeper breath,
we'll send those same wishes in a little more elaborate form to an inner sense of who we are, an inner identity that you can use the term me or we with. So let's start with it just saying I, okay? May I be happy. May I live with meaning, connection, and equanimity. May I be joyful, playful, and have a grateful heart. May I be healthy and live with a body that gives energy and flexibility. May I live with a body that gives me strength and stability. May I be safe and protected from all sorts of inner and outer harm. And may I flourish, thrive, and live with the ease of well-being. Now, taking a deeper breath, we'll send those same elaborated wishes out to an integrated sense of who you are. Okay? As I just said, we can reference ourselves as I or me or we. Um, so let's combine all of those together in something that we can call MWE, M-W-E, MWE, okay? Okay, so may we be happy and live with meaning, connection, and equanimity. May we be playful, joyful, and have a grateful heart. May we be healthy and live with a body that gives energy and flexibility. May we have a body that gives strength and stability. May we be safe and protected from all sorts of inner and outer harm. May we flourish and thrive. May we live with the ease of well-being. Now, once again, I invite you to find your breath and ride the wave of breathing in and out, and in and out. Now, taking a bit deeper breath, we'll bring the wheel of awareness to a close. So if your eyes are closed, you can open them now. And thank you for coming along with this journey on this journey with me today. And I hope that you've found some awareness of some of the things that might be bothering you, and that you've been able to eliminate some of the anxiety and stress, and hopefully find a path to less procrastination and more insight into who you are and the person that you want to be. Thank you. Do you have any questions?
Thank you, Tomie. If you do have questions, you can type them in the chat if you don't feel comfortable turning on your camera. You can also just turn on your audio and you can ask questions to Tomie as well. So we'll leave about the last 5 minutes for questions or comments. And if you'll notice, Kyle did put a message in the chat that has the exit survey information. So make sure to fill that out, not only for credit, but also so we can know how we're doing on events, what we can do better. You got a lot of thank yous, Tomie. I don't know if you see in the chat. I said this was so helpful. This was a great day. Fantastic. So people really loved it.
Great. I'm happy to do this again for anybody. If you have a house or you're living in a hall and you want somebody to come and help you do this, once the walls are all down and we can be with each other again, one more shot. And then I'd love to come out and help you with your houses or your friends or anybody. This is a wonderful tool.
Thank you, Tomie. I was telling my husband that I was actually falling asleep because I was so relaxed, which is a good thing because it's so hard to maintain balance in our daily lives. So this was wonderful.
Good, good. I'm happy to help people. I found this in my life and people gave it to me, and I think it's quite a gift. Yeah, so thank you for coming, everyone. Anybody have any questions? All right. Well, I'll hang around here for a few minutes, but you're welcome to go. Please
Thank you,
remember to do the
everyone.
survey. Yes, thank you, and please do the survey.
And then also we have one more event left today if you haven't already signed up. It is the Weight of Water showing. It's a documentary about a blind man who's kayaking the Grand Canyon. It's incredible, definitely something to see. We're joined by English faculty member Buddy Levy and also Joanne Green, who is the director of UREC. So we hope you join us. It's going to be a great night with a Q&A and a movie showing. We will put the link in the chat in case you want to register and you haven't done so yet.
Could you also repost the exit survey link for this?
Absolutely, Lane. We'll do it right now.
Thank you.
Lane, Kyle just posted that. Let me know if you don't see it.
I see it. Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you all for joining. We really appreciate it. Tomie, thank you so much for everything. This was a wonderful presentation. I'm going to go ahead and end the meeting. Tomie, I will follow up with you and give you survey results and anything else you would like. Thank you so much for being here. And thank all of you for coming. We really appreciate it. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to myself or Tomie. If you would like Tomie's information, just reach out to me and I will send that to you.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Have a wonderful day.